Hello and welcome to Chosen to be Empowered TV. I am your hostess, teacher, healer, spiritual guide, and last but not least, ancestral trauma expert, Deneen Joyner. If you are joining me for the very first time, I am welcoming you in with a warm embrace. If this is your second time, third time, fourth time back, welcome again. I'm happy to see you. I hope that you have been enjoying this channel. Today, I wanted to um, just remind you again, if you possibly maybe haven't viewed the other videos, I want to make sure that you understand that the purpose of this particular channel is for what I call sensitive souls, aka people who identify as empaths. That means you have an extra dose of sensitivity in your DNA, and you've had it since you were a child. And maybe people have ridiculed you for being so emotional, so sensitive to the needs of others. But guess what? That is who you are. That is how God made you, and I'm just happy to be able to identify as one myself. So I created this channel because I understand what it means to be a sensitive soul. And at this juncture in your life, I'm sure you have encountered much in your life emotionally that has made you question why God has made you so sensitive to things that other people just take on as nothing. So, what my goal is with this channel, really and truly, is to help you to reconnect with who you are at the end of the day, the real you, before anybody made you feel that there was something wrong with being emotional, that there was something wrong with you having feelings for people when they were sad or crying and you always wanted to run to their defense. Or maybe you even felt sad because nobody ran to yours, which would be my story as well. So I want you to know that God did make you that way for a reason. And maybe you haven't uncovered or discovered what that purpose is yet, which is all the more reason for you to follow this channel. So I want you to make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel so that you are sure to keep up on everything that could benefit you in your journey towards becoming back to who you truly are at the end of the day. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about three things that are going to literally help you to recover who you are. And this falls under the principles of our spirit led soul healing that I mentioned to you. If you haven't watched the video entitled Spirit Led Soul Healing, I would encourage you to do that so that you understand wholeheartedly what I'm speaking about in this video today. But even if you haven't, you won't be lost. That'll just actually give you more brevity as to what I'm speaking of. So don't um, despair. I want you to stay tuned in for this lesson today, where we're actually going to be talking about three principles. There are several more when it speaks to this form of soul healing that I do one on one and in groups with people who are ready to awaken to who they truly are, using their sensitivity, their gifts to be able to not only heal themselves, but to heal other people. Okay. So, the three principles that we will be speaking about today are the labyrinth, becoming a student of your life, and family. So we're going to talk about the labyrinth. I don't know if you are aware of what a labyrinth is. I really wasn't familiar until my own spiritual, spirit led soul healing journey. And it was downloaded to me about a labyrinth. And so I started my research on what labyrinths are. And I uncovered that labyrinths are very, very spiritual in nature. And a labyrinth is literally a circle that goes around and round and round and round and round. And then it stops in a circle in the center. And so that was given to me with regards to what a spiritual journey looks like when someone is beginning to lead into who they are. And so, for this spirit led soul healing, it asks you to envision yourself literally at the beginning of a labyrinth journey. And this labyrinth represents you. And the more that you start to become curious about who you are and why you show up emotionally the way you do, the more that you are going to go inward on this labyrinth. Okay. So the more that you uncover and discover about who you are emotionally, your emotional framework, which actually is connected to your childhood, which ultimately is connected to the fabric of your family emotionally, their emotional framework. All of that was passed down and poured into you. And that is why you're showing up the way that you are. Now, the more that, again, you become curious about all of this, the more you are going to go inward inside who you are. And that is going to literally allow you to become more open and receptive to your emotions, how you actually have been operating. And not only that, but it's going to actually give you more information about things that you need to now take ownership of and actually release and put to bed finally. So the labyrinth literally is your inward journey to all things emotional. I will be talking more about the labyrinth as we go deeper and deeper into spirit led soul healing. But for right now, I just really wanted to give you the beginning of what that means and what that looks like, and how you can literally start to envision your own inward journey. There are labyrinths. If you want to Google a local labyrinth that you can actually walk, there are labyrinths. There are that are connected to either spiritual places, and they actually have them inside where you can walk them, or they're sometimes outdoors as well. And sometimes they are actually um, they represent, if you will, like a what am I speaking of? It's like a greenery. So they're actually cut, and you actually walk them, right? And it actually again is representing that inward process, that inward spiritual journey to literally connecting with yourself and literally allowing yourself to go deeper and deeper inward to who you are. The next principle that I want to speak to you about today has to do with becoming a student of your life. If you've ever taken any college courses, and even if you haven't, even just going to school, right? Starting with the beginning of kindergarten all the way up until you're in 12th grade, you have been giving tools, skills, you've been giving history and information about the subject matter that you are studying. And so, this spirit led soul healing journey asks you to take on literally the attitude of learning as you would any other subject matter, taking on your own self as the subject matter. And I think that's pretty cool. And I know that that was something when I was going through my own healing journey, when that was given to me as a um, as something for me to actually embrace and think about doing, um, to learn all that I could about the ways that I emote and thinking about my um, coping methods and mechanisms that I developed, thinking about the behaviors, the negative self talk, the people that I adopted these behaviors from. All of these things actually added up to how Deneen showed up throughout not only her childhood, but also in her adulthood. And so I literally started to become so curious and fascinated about my emotions. And I literally felt like I was a student of my life. And so this helped me to literally take on something that became just really fascinating to me on so many different levels that I could literally study myself like a subject. And so, if you're able to open yourself up to this as well, um, not taking it on as a chore or as something that, there's something wrong with you per se emotionally, but literally saying, I'm so committed to understanding myself, how I came to be, why I am, that I'm going to literally take this on as a subject. And you are the actual subject. So I want you to think about what that would look like for you, taking on your own emotional framework as the subject. I mean, it's so exciting if you can do that. And we'll talk more about that as well. The last piece of information with regards to principles of spirit led soul healing has to do with your family, the lens that you use to see your family, to experience your family, the behaviors, the assumptions about them. Because more than likely, again, we're talking about you being a sensitive soul, which means you more than likely are also the black sheep of the family. More than likely, excuse me, excuse me, more than likely, you are a sensitive soul. You are different than anybody in your family. Everybody else seems to be on the same wavelength emotionally. You have been the one who has actually known things were going to happen, and you reacted to certain things that happened in a different manner, different way than everybody in your family. And because of that, because you sense and feel that they're so different than you, and they feel it too, they can see that you're different. They don't understand why. And maybe you don't either. But I'm praying that you will once you continue to follow me here, that you're going to understand why God made you so sensitive. And so, because you are quote unquote the black sheep, you're going to come to learn and find out that your family um, literally um, needs you. They need you because you are so sensitive. So, what is going to happen is that you are going to be asked to remove the lens that you have used to see your family, all of the negative things, and maybe there's some positive things, but I'm really speaking about the things that made you sensitive to knowing that you're different from them. And along with all of the assumptions that you've made about them, even the experiences that you have had with regards to emotional pain and any trauma that you have had so far, this is going to ask you by far to do something that may be very, very challenging and difficult to you, which is to remove that lens. Because at this stage in the game, if you choose to literally want to commit to returning back to who you truly are at the end of the day, emotionally, it's going to require you to give up what you say about them and how you experience them. And it's going to ask you to literally remove that lens and actually replace it with a spiritual one, which is the one that allows you to be neutral in everything that you see, in anything that you have encountered up until now. It doesn't mean that you have to negate and um, numb what happened to you. It means that you are going to need to literally move forward in truth, in spiritual truth. It means that you can no longer rely on what you have said to yourself about these experiences, about your family, um, because it is literally holding you hostage. And it is more important at this stage for you to lead with the truth and um, with love than it is to be right. Okay. It's going to also allow you to experience later on a healthy relationship with other people who are going to be important to you. Because if you continue to use the lens of being a victim, that is what you are going to literally attract in your life, is being a victim to certain situations. Spirit led soul healing literally allows you to remove the victim lens and mentality and actually replace it with being the victor, realizing that the things that have happened to you were not done to you, but literally done for you. Because everything that you have experienced up until now has been for your greater good. And because you have been using a different lens to experience your life, because you have been literally showing up as a human in human form, right? Instead of experiencing the things that you have spiritually, it has removed you and taken you further away from the truth. Everything that has happened to you, for you, up until now is literally asking you to undo and unravel a lot of the untruths that you have gained as the perspective, as literally that there are things that have happened to you that have taken from you, when literally the experiences were placed on your path to prepare you for the true reason you are here. But you won't get to that if you continue to hold on to the victim mentality of literally navigating your life. I want to end there because I believe that what I have shared with you today is is different than anything you have heard before with regards to literally allowing yourself to lead with a different lens, a spiritual one that literally calls on you to remember who you are at your truth, at your core. We will continue to unpack what this journey looks like. We will also continue to allow you to begin to show up in a powerful way with your emotions, because that is by far what is going to allow you to begin to put the things that you have led with up until now that are truly for your highest good. And it's going to allow you to embrace a new way of being, which really at the end of the day is how you were created, even before you knew who you truly were. I'm so happy to be on this journey with you. I pray that every time we come together that you allow your soul to embrace my words. They are familiar, even if you're not in the headspace right now to fully accept and understand what it is that I'm saying. Your soul knows the truth, it knows who you are, and it also knows why you have encountered the things that you have encountered on your path. It is only then will you be able to truly embrace and understand who God has made you to be and you can step away from the life that has made you to feel that there is something wrong. I am ending now. I want you to know that I enjoy our time together. I ask you to, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to this channel. We will go deeper and deeper with each time we come together. I will continue to talk to you about more principles. And ultimately, what I would like is for us to be able to go on a self empowered healing journey, which is literally going to return you back to wholeness. Until we meet again, be well and peace be with you.